We continue to explore the incredible Calakmul Biosphere Reserve, and we found one of its incredible treasures, the Bat Cave. To get to the Bat Cave, you have to walk a small path through the jungle, and with some luck you can spot some animals. On this occasion, we were very lucky and we were able to find a coral snake. These snakes are very poisonous. However, they do not represent any danger to humans because their fangs are located in the inner part of their head, and they are actually very shy snakes, so it's very rare the bite accidents with this species. On this individual, we can see the classic color pattern that tells us that it is a coral snake and not a false coral. However, to be sure, we have to study the morphology and behavior of the snake very well. I am currently on my way to one of the most spectacular places of Calakmul rainforest, the amazing bat cave. In this cave live between 2 and 6 million of different species of bats, and it is one of the largest caves that exist in the world where these animals live. Actually, there are only 2 places in the world. The other cave with similar dimensions and characteristics is located in Borneo, on the island of Borneo, so this cave is really a unique and amazing place. The bats are very important for nature, since they feed mainly on insects. For example, they feed from mosquitoes. These insects cause diseases to people, so bats are very important to reduce the mosquito population. In this cave, we also find fruit-eating bats. These species help to spread the fruit seeds through the jungle, and there are bats that also help to pollinate all the flowers of this place. That's why bats are one of the most important animals in the rainforest. Unfortunately, they are threatened because people have the idea that bats are evil or that they even suck blood from humans. Also, some people think that they are related to the devil and things like that, and for this reason, many of them are seriously endangered, and I will show them to you. Bats are the only mammals that have the ability of flying. However, they are practically blind, since their sense of sight is not well developed. So, instead, bats developed an amazing sense of echolocation. This sense allows them to emit ultrasonic waves that collide with objects and return to them, and so they can locate the objects that are around them. It is very important to know that bats are harmless to humans, so if a bat gets in our house, it is important to turn off the fans and let them live on their own. We finally reached the entrance of the cave, but we were not there alone. We were able to observe some of the predators that were waiting for their dinner. And so, little by little, tens of thousands of bats began to leave the cave, when we realized they were flying everywhere. Finally, we were able to reach the Calakmul Archeological Zone, the place where the largest pyramids ever built by the Mayans in Mexico were found. Today we will take a hike through the Calakmul pyramids and its surroundings to see if we can find some animals and take some wildlife pictures. Calakmul is one of my favorite places, probably my favorite place in Mexico, because this is the only place where I have been able to see the jaguar. I have been looking for jaguars for more than 10 years in Mexico, and the only place in which I have the opportunity to see this magnificent feline is being here in Calakmul, because this place is an excellent place for the survival of this species. But it's not easy to spot the jaguar. You should have very good luck and you will have the opportunity to spot some of these big spotted cats. So now we are going to walk around the Maya ruins and see if we are lucky with the animals. Exploring on the way to the great plaza center of Calakmul, we were able to find the woodpecker. Woodpeckers are very important to the ecosystems where they live because they feed on worms that actually feed off the pulp from the inside the trees. When the woodpecker disappears, there is no one who feeds on these worms, and usually they can become a plague that kills hundreds or thousands of trees. Exploring the main square of Calakmul, we were able to climb its impressive pyramids, surrounded by the exuberant vegetation of the Mayan jungle. When suddenly, among the trees, we were able to hear a very familiar sound. And finally, I was able to find what I was looking for, a canoe-billed toucan, one of the most difficult birds to observe in the Mayan jungle. There is the spider monkey. Calakmul is amazing because you can find a large number of animals. And there is two species, the spider monkey and the howler monkey, and these are very close. Hey, look at this. This is a Mayan tomb. We are in the sacred plaza of Calakmul. In this plaza they buried the most important kings of this great city, and they buried them in this type of places. This is a tomb, but this tomb is open and we have access to it. In this kind of structures, we're going to find a large number of bones, okay, and jade decorations, because this is how the great ancient Maya kings were buried. In Calakmul, the archaeologists found some of the most relevant tombs of the Mayan culture, and they found a very important tomb from a great ruler called the Jaguar Claw King. In this tomb, a large number of jade decorations were found, including some vessels with decoration and an impressive jade mask. Also, in the palace of Calakmul, there were found some impressive stucco masks representing some of the most important kings of the city. We went up to the palace of Calakmul, where we were welcomed by the howler monkeys. From there, we were able to spot a beautiful female monkey with her baby, and from that moment, the monkeys became our guides for the rest of the day. Following the howler monkeys, we reached the highest pyramid of Calakmul. There, we decided to spend the rest of the afternoon, and the monkeys joined us to see an incredible sunset. With this, we finish our adventure in Calakmul. I hope you enjoy it. And if you want to visit Calakmul with an organization focused on its conservation, I leave the link in the description of the video. This is Neofelis Wildlife Adventure, and we will see you on the next adventure.